This video is sponsored by Shopify. You could go back in time knowing what you know today and give one piece of advice to your younger self. What would you say?
Use birth control.
You gotta be an idiot to have done it to begin with.
It has haunted me since then.
My people told me we were crazy, but I got the last laugh.
They're still slaving away, so I guess I won.
What advice would you give to your younger self? This is one of the most highly researched questions in the world, because if there are lessons that we can take away from people older than us before it's too late, we can live a much better life. In fact, it is these questions that I spent years researching on Reddit that led me to transform my life. But I always wished that I could hear it from the sources themselves. Today, I'm gonna give you a real-life version of these answers. I'll be asking strangers in their old ages, their late 60s, 70s, and 80s, about the best piece of advice they would give to their younger version of themselves and what they would do differently. They could go back in time and be someone of your age. What does it feel like to be 67, 66?
My attitude is it's either you're 67, 66, or you're dead.
We always say it's better than the alternative. His favorite line is, life is not a dress rehearsal, so that's how we live our life.
Yeah.
So I'm in a crisis right now. I'm retiring. And so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life next. What do I want to be when I grow up?
I'm also retiring, and it feels strange. I'm not ready to be put on the shelf, but on the other hand, life is very capricious, and I don't want to die trying to craft the perfect footnote.
I get up every morning, I do what I really want to do.
If you could go back in time knowing what you know today and give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would you say?
Follow your dreams, because the passion will get you over the finish line. Always. Always. I used to want to make money. Okay, that was my job. I was in the finance business. I was there to make money. It's not that important. You have to have passion to be good. I lost my passion. And if you don't have passion, you're not going to make it. I started my own business in 1982. We were very frugal. We saved money. We invested in ourselves, which is our business. And I'm in the position to leave the business. My son works there. My nephew, my brother, and other people work for us. But I don't go to the office anymore because I don't have to.
You have time now.
I can do what I want to do when I wake up. I'm not interested in making the last buck. If you have more than you need to survive and take care of your family, that's enough. But just this habit to have it, no, I don't agree with that.
What have you done in your life to get to this point and feel the way that you feel?
I kept things simple. That's, I think, the key to life is don't take on more responsibility than you want to take on. So therefore, I don't have a wife. I don't have any children. I had a nice job. I was a New York City public school teacher, which many people think is a really terrible job, but I loved more or less every minute of it. You have to really love what you do. And if you're not happy what you do, it's the worst miserable kind of thing in the world. You kind of hope and pray that the money will come through that because of your passion and, your goodwill to the job you're doing. But there is no guarantee. There really isn't any guarantee.
What is one thing that when you were younger, you put a lot of importance on, and as you've gotten older, you realized wasn't that important?
The phrase I've started using is, I want you to like me, I don't need you to like me. You realize that sometimes less is more. Friends and your inner circle, you don't need to have a lot of them to be meaningful, and then you start focusing more inward and you start realizing that respect and tolerance and being more kinder to yourself comes into focus a lot more than it did before.
Maybe being right or happy to be right.
So what is something that maybe has gotten more important over time?
Being kind.
Yeah.
Well, Helen, do I ever worry about anything?
Yeah, he doesn't worry about, you picked a
Doesn't sound
guy
like
that
it,
doesn't
yeah.
worry about much.
I was fortunate in the sense that I made a very good living very young. So I never had that stress because by the time I was in my early 20s, I was already doing ridiculously well.
What were you doing?
I was in Wall Street.
So Wall Street, obviously you're dealing with high pressure all the time.
Yeah, but I
was there
never viewed it as high pressure.
How did you view it?
It was a means to an end. I went in every day. I didn't like doing it, but I was too well compensated to do anything else.
Thinking back, do you regret that? Like, is something you would have rather done?
No. I was the most overcompensated person in history, in the history of Western capitalism. Okay. So there's nothing else that I could have done where I could have done as well.
I kind of remember like people saying to me or thinking behind my back, oh, you're just a teacher. What do you know? You're never going to have a lot of money or anything. But then I retired at 55 because I stayed simplified and all my friends who went for the big house and the family and the cars, they're still slaving away. So now looking back at it, I kind of like laugh at them like, I guess I won. You thought you were better than me, but you're really not. I think by not being married and staying single, I minimize my risks. I'm not complaining about being single. I really am. I know most people would, but not me, baby.
What is a big risk that you took in your life that you learned a big lesson from?
I think finding a life partner is the biggest gamble in your life, but if you do find it, it can be the magical part of your life.
Well, we were kids when we met, and there was a lot of luck and just communication.
If I could give younger people advice, is finding the right partner is important, and therefore not having kids until you are more sure that it is the right partner, because there's so many divorces in life. And obviously waiting a bit to have kids doesn't negate divorce, but it minimizes the chance that if you're not together as a couple, don't introduce someone else until you're sure.
I think a lot of people just don't care about obligation. So therefore they get married and have kids, and then they don't care if it works out or not, and they know they can get out of it if they want to. It's like a throwaway kind of world in a lot of ways, yeah.
The union of two people coming together is still two individuals, and don't try and make the other person be you. So keeping your independence, but enjoying the other person's independence as well.
When I had a very good year as working for somebody else, my dad, who was an entrepreneur, encouraged us to go out of business on our own. Most people thought we were insane because I just paid my dues, just got a nice opportunity, just started to make some meaningful money, and I said, I'm throwing the dice. And it was a good move.
Yeah.
But you got to throw the dice.
A lot of people don't do that.
A lot of people laughed at us. A lot of people told me we were crazy for quitting the job I had to pursue a dream. But I got the last laugh.
The biggest risk that I've ever taken was quitting my corporate job in favor of building my dream life from scratch. Now, a few years ago, I created a product that encompasses every single step that I took from being unhappy in that corporate job to where I am today. It's called our 365-day goal-setting journal. It's basically a fully guided journal that helps you develop the mindset, structure, and clarity to set big goals for yourself and actually achieve them. Now, to sell this product, we opened up a Shopify store. Shopify offers an easy-to-use, all-in-one commerce platform for anybody, regardless of your technical ability and your experience, to start, grow, and manage a business. Like me, they're Canadian, but they power millions of businesses in over 175 different countries. I started building my website using their key offer. I went super frugal on the website by using one of their free templates until recently, where I decided to reinvest into the business and purchase one of their customized templates. I then played around with it, changed the colors, changed the font, changed the style so it would adapt to my brand, and that actually really helped me improve the sales on my product. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur/side hustler, go to Shopify.com/Sprouht to get your free trial for Shopify today. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, knowing what you know today, what would you say to him and her?
Use birth control. No, I'm just kidding. I would say no matter what you do for a living, the most important skill to have is to have good people skills, to be able to be someone that other people like and relate to.
My advice would be put yourself always in a place where there's somebody you admire, because that will carry you through life. The people that I met in philosophy and literature really opened up my world. I think once it gets open, you have to do a lot to close it.
To find that independence and not to want to be what you think other people want you to be. Just be happy and aim for contentment within yourself. Because if you haven't got contentment in yourself, it doesn't matter how many people in your environment there are, you're not going to find it.
I hate to say it. I mean, I'm not bragging, but I don't have any real bad habits. Everything worked out the way I wanted it to, because I thought about the decisions I made, and I made decisions that weren't self-destructive.
I love that, and I've never heard anyone say that.
No, there's not many people in the world who do that. Everybody's got a problem. Everybody's addicted to something, and then after they get addicted, it's like, oh, I made a terrible mistake. But you got to be an idiot to have done it to begin with. And I don't have the sympathy I used to have about it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and you'll also probably enjoy this video right here. I'm Will, and as always, it's a mindset. See you next time.